Warframe, to me, has always been much more than a simple game, but more of a story. A story of how a relatively unknown developer managed to break all expectations, being told time and time again that they would fail. And I've been playing Warframe since 2016, and even though I'm not a veteran, I've seen this game evolve. And the evolution it's went over the past 5 years is absolutely incredible. And today, we're at the current peak of that evolution. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Fortuna review. I specifically remember the feeling I got when I first saw the planes at TennoCon 2017. It was absolutely breathtaking, a new step for Warframe, and at the time, it was the pinnacle. It was new territory, with a lot of imperfections, and those imperfections are incredibly vital as to why Fortuna succeeded. The product we got was partly because of the community feedback. The planes at first seemed exciting, but had so many issues that aren't revolved around bugs. And before we knew what we were getting, there wasn't too much hype for Fortuna. It seemed like it would just be the planes of Eidolon, only in a different landscape. But at TennoCon 2018, we saw the Orb Valis for the first time in all of its beauty. And the song We All Live Together was revealed to us, and the song itself tells us all we need to know about the people of Fortuna. To sum it up, Fortuna is inhabited by beings who are in debt to Nefanyu. They spend their entire lives working to pay off their debt until they inevitably fall. Then their offspring inherit their debt and spend their lives to pay it off. Those who can't pay get their limbs taken away by Nefanyu's Repo Squad. They used to fight back, but have given in to Nefanyu. And this is where we come in. Welcome to Fortuna, a citadel built inside a cave under the massive landscape of Orb Valis. This is where you'll be introduced to a diverse cast of characters who also act as vendors, most of them being available to you once you've done the Vox Solaris quest. And this quest does a very good job at creating a bond between you and the people of Solaris, and to avoid spoilers, there is a sense of urgency and desperation. At certain points in the mission, you will fail your objective, and you suffer the consequence. And it's at that point you realise that sacrifices need to be made in order for the Solaris to live freely. This quest is all about bringing hope to the people of Solaris, and to fight back against Nefanyu. And the ending gives off a sense of ambiguity. Neither side truly wins, it's all a stalemate. But it's only a small victory for the people of Fortuna, and only the beginning of your journey in Fortuna. All the vendors in Fortuna are unique and have their own mannerisms and personalities, and each of their designs is so expertly crafted that when you contrast it to the Ostron vendors, it's practically night and day. They went all out on the designs for every single character to make them look as unique as possible, and they all sell items unique to Fortuna. Fishing and mining return as well as a similar modular weapon system, much like the Zaws, but there's secondary weapons called kit guns. You're able to customize how it fires, what stats it has, and the fire rate, reload speed, and many other variables. And on top of that, you now have the option to build your own Moa companion, which is also fully customizable and can be given a personality. There are a couple of sub-clans which you can level up independently from the Solaris, those being Little Ducks Standing, who at this current moment in time only sells Tenno cosmetics, like the one I'm rocking right now, and the Vent Kids, which is based around the hoverboard known as the K-Drive, which I'll get into in a little bit. And most importantly, Yudiko, who gives you your bounties while you're in Fortuna, acting in almost the same way as the bounties in Cetus with a similar reward structure. This is the main way you get standing to rise up in the ranks of the Solaris United. The vast landscape of Venus is home to many curious landmarks, such as giant towers that ooze coolant, and craters that have strange golden asteroids that have tendrils protruding out of them. We also have a varied amount of named locations that all have unique qualities to them. You can go to the enrichment labs to see what the corpus are doing and experimenting on, or you could go to the Oregon dig site and see exactly what the corpus are finding there. It seems as if this time around D have spent so much more time making this map as rich with detail as it possibly can be, which inherently capitalizes on the open world aspect rather than the bounties and the missions. Not only was the scale bumped up to over 5 times the size of the plains, but the attention to detail and the vastness of areas such as caves and corpus labs make exploring this map a more rewarding experience. And instead of following the same design philosophy Warframe has adopted for its levels, basically get in a mission, get the stuff and get out as fast as possible, it instead gives you the incentive in visuals alone to take it slow and to really soak in this wonderful environment that they've crafted for us. And the environment became engaging in itself, all thanks to the K-Drive, which to simply put is the newest form of transportation along with the Arcwing. It has a Tony Hawk style trick system where you grind on rails and combo different tricks to build up your multiplier that ultimately helps with standing for the vent kids. And if you look all over the map, it's designed with this in mind, making the map so much more engaging than say the Plains of Eidolon. Anything you see here in Orb Valis can be grinded on, and not in a sexual way mind you. And once you earn standing for the vent kids, you can buy more K-Drive parts to customize your own K-Drive and purchase mods that change the aspects of your K-Drive. And it gives you a real benefit for taking your time, and instead of rushing to your location with Arcwing, you can take advantage of the mechanics of K-Drives to make going places feel fun and engaging. And one small detail I really appreciated on the plains, and it's really small mind you, was the interactivity or what little there was of it. Given that this is an open world, I should feel like my actions affect the landscape even if it's just something small, such as destroying a Gurnier drill to get to a small cavern, or shoot down a fan to get to the 1,000-year fish statue. It's these little details that really add in that extra bit of immersion to this vast landscape, and Fortuna saw this and cranked that dial up. In the labs and facilities that are available to us, there are a variety of things you can interact with, such as a shooting range and being able to create a sentient, and I'm not joking when I say that. And even though it's something small and minuscule in the grand scheme of things, it inherently rewards exploration, only further incentivizing you to explore this vast landscape. But a very nice addition comes from the bounty mechanic, and to give you a bit of backstory, when I saw the Plains of Eidolon at TennoCon, I thought to myself, it would be so cool to capture these bases, and Fortuna capitalized on that idea tenfold. You see, there are certain bases in Orb Valis which you can capture, and once captured, they act as hubs for unique missions that aren't on Unico's list. And this blew my mind in all honesty, because the best feeling in an open world environment is knowing that you've made a change to it, that you've made an inherent impact, and that your actions have consequences on the world and how it functions. And it's small, but all these details really create a unique experience that I just can't describe within words. The world is your hub for these bounties, but it doesn't all revolve around them. And the bounties come with some very nice improvements as well. And it's your standard get to the objective and do the thing mission structure we're used to 3 to 5 times over again, and then you're done. This time you get a bonus mission with each mission. They give you additional standing, and at certain points I've noticed that they have a chance to give you a bonus reward once in a while. Probably once you've completed all of the bonus missions, but these are optional, but they implement a bit more challenge and could easily be refined. And even though it's not too challenging, Digital Extremes could easily capitalize on this by making unique bonus missions for each individual bounty, given different rewards, and they could really go all out with this. But unlike Cetus, where going in and out of the plains as fast as possible was encouraged, D took a 180 and encouraged sessions to take longer and be more rewarding. This is achieved partly due to being able to choose bounties without going back to Fortuna, either by going to the agent at the entrance or by any captured named location. But the activities that are available to you also encourage you to stay and explore the vast open landscape of Orb Valis. The previous mentioned cave drives have races for them scattered around the map. You'll find event kits. Each event kit offers a different race with their own leaderboards, and of course the faster you complete the race, the higher on the leaderboard you will be, and each of these races are unique and have their own different tracks. So if you want to experience all of them, you have to go out into the map and explore. And as stated before, mining and fishing return but have been revamped to be a little more straightforward. One of the biggest complaints I had for the plains was the overall progression. Things were made overly complicated and expensive that it made mining and fishing feel like a chore. You always had different tiers of equipment, with mining drills being direct upgrades, but all fishing spears were useful for certain tiers of fish, which got a tad bit confusing at points. The way you obtained bait for rarer fish was convoluted at the very least, requiring other fish, and in certain cases other rare fish, which may need other fish to create their bait. And if that sounds confusing, that's because it is, and it shouldn't have been. Fortuna fixes this by trimming the fat essentially, by giving you all the tools you need as early as rank 0 of Voxelaris, and making bait a direct purchase instead of an unnecessary grind. And it's also worth noting that even though there are 2 tiers of fishing spears, that was a good rhyme, regardless of which one you have, whether it be the first one or the second one, you can catch any fish in the game. The second one only emits a pulse, which electrocutes fish and stuns them. It's only a little addition, and this is a brilliant design in all honesty, because it isn't convoluted at all. But all these activities play into the idea of exploration. Certain areas of Fortuna will be your different Cerofish, and ponds in beautiful vast cave systems that Fortuna implemented. Conservation is also a unique addition, giving Orb Valis yet more depth by introducing an ecosystem of animals that all have different characteristics. And all of these activities can provide you with Voxelaris standing, used to purchase mostly everything in Fortuna, but also used to rank up. And the ranking system is a bit more forgiving this time round. You don't need to look for rare materials once you've gotten to the max standing at your rank, but what you must have are debt bonds, a resource introduced in Fortuna that can be farmed directly from bounty missions or by going to the ticker and purchasing debt bonds. The latter benefits the endgame player more, hence why I left this guy till the very end. He's pretty much like a resource sink that you put a lot of your spare credits and resources into to essentially skip the main grind for these debt bonds, which function as a means to rank up, can be used for standing, and can also be used to buy cheap decorations for your orbiter and your dojo. But Fortuna is not flawless, and for anyone just getting their hands on this update, since it's just either about to be released or it's just been released on console by the time this video comes out, you deserve to know what you're getting into and to set your expectations accordingly. From a gameplay standpoint, Fortuna plays similarly to the Plains of Eidolon. It has the same mission structure, a lot of the same activities, and to a lot of people might have the same feel, but it's a lot more forgiving in the grind, and does so much more right than the Plains of Eidolon. There isn't anything that many people would consider game-changing, but seeing DE refine an already established formula and make it a much better experience is so heartwarming to me. Fortuna surpasses the Plains in every way possible, and it truly feels like a worthwhile experience that takes full advantage of the open world area. And I can't describe how amazing it truly feels to explore the map that we've been given. I've said it's big, but that is an understatement. I find myself getting lost within the vastness of Orb Valis, taking in the breathtaking visuals and hunting for potential secrets. This is truly the open world experience that I was hoping for when I first laid my eyes on the Plains of Eidolon, and in such a short time we've come so far. Only a year. Man, Fortuna isn't game breaking, it isn't even really new, but it reinvented what an open world is to Warframe. Not just a hub where the same mission structure takes place, but a diverse ecosystem filled with so many unique landmarks and secrets to discover. With a unique design, it's an absolute bliss to explore, and I've spent so many hours just wandering around this map. It's been amazing. But if there's one thing DE need to do, it's this. More events. More attention needs to be given to Fortuna than ever to sustain it, because that was one of the main problems with the Plains. They didn't really have much going for it, except ghouls, but who really cares about those missions, let's be honest there. But more events need to be implemented to capitalise on this update, much like the Plague Star, but much more frequent. Events that could reveal a lot more lore and also gradually change the map. For example, have the Corpus build new locations, evolve the map to keep it fresh. This will inevitably increase the replay value of Fortuna and keep people coming back for more. And this idea can be further expanded, such as placing small details that hint towards new updates and details about the lore, as well as add in the Orb Valis variant of the 1000-year fish that comes with its own lore in the Codex. Immerse the player into the story of Orb Valis, because at this current moment in time it's so shrouded in mystery that I'm just so excited to know more about it. And I really do hope DE take full advantage of this to make Fortuna even better than what it is right now. Because even though it's at a very high level, it can get even better. In conclusion, Fortuna is amazing. It obviously doesn't come without its faults, but nothing really is perfect. But what I know for certain is that this is such a major improvement from the Plains that comparing the two is like night and day. And even though they're similar gameplay wise, the improvements Fortuna brings inherently makes this a much different experience than before. A more polished and varied experience that I'll never regret being a part of. And now it's time to see what sort of future Fortuna has. And hopefully we as a community can provide the feedback necessary for making future updates for Fortuna that can push even more boundaries. Because as the song goes, we all lift together.